What is up, podcast, and welcome to the Raise Flames Podcast Network. We have another amazing show for you today. My friend, we're just chilling here with my friend Solanis from Forgotten Legion Band. What's up, my brother?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, my man. I was listening to this freaking metal in the morning. There is nothing like listening to some metal in the morning. If you guys haven't done that yet, you have to have that experience.
Got to.
Man, Solanis is a Sola Customs guitar artist, as well as founding member of the Forgotten Legion thrash metal band. I call it thrash metal. That's what we used to call it back in my day. Is that correct?
You can call it that. You can call it whatever you want. Honestly, we're very open to just letting people call it whatever they want. We can't even decide what it is.
See, I like that. It's open to interpretation.
Yeah, we're just grooving, man. We just want to groove.
That's awesome, bro. Solanis, we talk a lot on my show about passion, and that's what this show's all about. It's all my favorite flavors and all things life on Raise Flames podcast. And I believe that everybody has a passion for something. Would it be safe to say, Solanis, that your passion is guitar? Because I've seen you just shredding on Instagram.
Yeah, man. I would say it's perfectly safe to assume that music is my passion. There's nothing I wouldn't be doing that doesn't involve music in some way. I think that's just the path that I chose when I came here, and that's where we're at.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, you have to be. I saw you shredding on Instagram. That's how I found you. I saw you like shredding on Instagram. You liked one of my. You must be into art or something because you liked one of my sculpting. My guy, I was interviewing a sculpting guy, and you liked it. So you.
Yeah, I'm all over the place on Instagram. I just love artists. So whatever kind of art, I'll find it somewhere.
We all end up intermingling, right?
Yeah. I was checking out earlier episodes of the podcast. I was really intrigued, man. You have great questions, so I'm looking forward to this. Actually,
oh man, thank you so much, dude. I'm glad you're here. My one of my questions is like, well, I'm gonna say to be a custom Solanis artist, like to be sponsored. I know because I used to play music back in the day. I spent most of my life playing music. You have to be pretty damn good. Like we back in the before Instagram, before all the YouTube and all that stuff, when we were playing music, we pretty much had to go to the Sam Ash and like beg get brands to like sponsor us because but you have to be pretty damn good. You can't just get a sponsorship from a place like, what is it called, Sola Custom Guitars. How did you get that sponsorship?
So that's actually a great question and a great place to start, because Tony, the founder of Tony E. Sola, is the founder of Sola Custom Guitars in New Jersey. I think
Sola?
right now they moved to Texas, I believe.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, yeah, you're right. It takes a certain amount of time and effort and energy just to even get on that kind of playing field. That was something that I've always dreamed about. It's something that ever since I was a little kid watching, professional guitarists and stuff like Prince and, Jimmy Page and all these people with these
names,
sick guitars, that are just like custom painted and all this. And I was just like, one day I want to make or build my own guitar. That was one of my dreams. So I actually built one of my guitars.
You built it?
Yeah, not the one you see on Instagram a lot, but a black and white V I actually built at school.
Oh, no way.
I think I'm going a long way around to get to
you're going in the right. We're on the right track, bro. We are in the same car, in the same truck, in the same lowrider. We're going in the same direction, brother. Keep going. What are you, in high school when you're doing this?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. So I'm in college. I went to Musicians Institute in Hollywood. Yes. So it's technical music school, contemporary music.
They got producing there. They've got music there.
Yeah,
and building guitars.
Yeah, so one of their programs is the guitar building program, Guitar Institute of Technology.
If I was a kid, I would have been freaking sucking that out. I mean, I would all over that place.
Oh yeah, dude. I was a kid in a candy shop, so like I was just sucking all the information in as I could, So
engineering, music. If any, just to let the people know, that school is an artist school. It's engineering, it's music, now building guitars, studios. It's a dream come true for any musician that's out there.
Oh, 100%. I could not recommend it more. Like I wouldn't be at the level I am in my music career if it wasn't for going to that school. Like just straight up, like it helped me so much, just communicating music as a language, communicating with other musicians, producers, like you were saying, like you're just surrounded by the music industry over there. So
Did you end
um
up, we'll go back to the making guitar. I won't forget that. But did
yeah.
you end up like learning, like, I mean, that when you're going to college for music, like I used to dabble when I was going to community college, but you actually went to real music school. You're learning notes and stuff, like how to actually read music, right?
Yeah, that was part of the core curriculum, is like reading notation, composition, knowing how to read music, and kind of just like if somebody hands you a sheet of music, you just go up there and play it like live. You're just getting tested in the fire. There's
Dude,
no like yeah, like, give me a week and then come back and play it. Like, no, it's just like, here's a sheet of music, get up on stage and play it. Like
wow, dude, that's even more than we used. Like we used to play, and then when we played salsa, like the trumpet players and all those guys, the bass player, everybody, the piano player, they didn't even rehearse. I'm like, dude, I'm the conga player. I don't read music. I'm just playing the congas. I know the cumbia, I know the salsa, blah blah blah. But I have to just show up to the show. They just put the paper on the freaking thing, and they just go. I'm like, dude, what? Like, dude, that's real musicianship right there.
yeah, it's definitely it was like getting, just finally ground into dust for like 2 years straight. That's what it felt like. It was just super intense, a lot of learning in a very short amount of time, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like that,
Theory and
that it's
stuff like
like
that.
it's like a proving ground too, because like a lot of people don't make it through.
Oh,
Like it,
really?
oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't think people talk about it enough, but there's like just
Well,
don't make it through.
because especially like with guitar, right? Like everybody's like, "Oh, dude, I want to play guitar. I see the guitar. I see the Jimi Hendrix on the videos, and I want to do that." And then they play it, and like I remember I used to teach a little bit, like with kids and stuff like that, and I would teach guitar and like basic guitar, and then you're right. You start off with 50 kids in your class, and it slowly over the weeks gets down to like maybe 10, and then 5, and then 3, and you end up with maybe like 2 for 6 months, because they are like, oh, we have to learn something, we have to study something, we have to actually know the musical alphabet, we have to actually spend at least 2 hours practicing a day. And people are like, oh, I thought this was going to be fun, because
Yeah.
they just see the the rock, the rock side of it, the
Seeing the
girls,
show, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the girls, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, all the stuff that you're not supposed to do, but all the background stuff, and the, yeah, they see the show like you said, exactly, and they think it's going to be easy, but when you study it like it's awesome. But I don't want to miss it. Go back to you were making a guitar, you were handcrafting an actual guitar from at school, and then
Yeah, yeah. So no, you're right. Yeah, you can get lost in forgetting that it's like a hardcore art and practice.
it's
It's
our
like
hardcore art,
you,
dude.
you gotta you gotta be obsessed. It's an obsession to want to do this. It's but yeah, I was building a guitar. I was basically creating my dream guitar at the school, because the way they set it up is like, okay, you get to design it, you get to draw it out exactly how you want, and we just kind of have to give you like some kind of parameters for you to build this thing, because we have equipment that can only do so much. But outside of that, just build whatever you want. So that's how I came out of it.
Oh.
6 months later, I had my dream guitar that I've been drawing since I was like 10 years old.
Oh, you drew the design that you
I've
wanted
been
since
I've
you were
been
10?
I've been I've been drawing the same guitar design for like since I was 10 years old, in
Dude,
my
that,
school notebooks over and over again. And then
no
finally I'm
way.
literally just shaving the wood down, painting it,
Well,
wiring
did
the
you ever think like
electronics.
you when you were a kid, like I'm like you were drawing this? Would you ever think like, did you think like someday I'm gonna make this? Did you know that in your head? Like you were gonna, like this was like
1,000%. A 1,000%. There what you could ask my parents, you could ask anyone around me. It's like I was obsessed with guitar. Like if I saw a guitar in a book, I'd grab that book. I'm just like anything to do with guitars or music, I'm just all over it.
How
Just
did you,
obsessed.
how did you, at that time, how did you think when you're 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, you're not in college yet? How did you think you were going to make it? Like in a garage? Like, how did you envision yourself at that time that you were going to make it in a garage or
Dude,
what was your thought process?
that's a great question. Like I swear to you, I've literally dreamt of being on stage, just getting, the like the cheering and everything since I was like 4 years old. I'm not kidding.
Dang.
Like
So you
like
just knew.
4 or 5 years old, I've known that I need to be on stage. Like my
Wow.
parents have like the old school VHS footage of me like getting in front of the living room and like telling them like I'm gonna put on a show, and then I would start dancing for them and stuff. Like it's in my blood, bro. I don't know what it was. Like my parents grew up in Acapulco, Mexico. I'm actually
Okay.
from Acapulco,
Oh,
and
wow.
they would
Or were
they
you,
would
you were born there as well, or you were born here?
I was born in Acapulco, Mexico. Yeah,
Wow.
I came here when I was 2 years old.
Dude.
So the transition, I don't really feel like I'm from over there or from here. I
Well,
don't,
you were 2 years old. Yeah, you speak English
yeah,
well. Like my dad, he came here when he was like 9, and he spoke perfect English. Never taught me a lick of Spanish. I wish he did, but I would have had a
yeah,
better. I got probably got better jobs in the back in the day. But yeah,
yeah,
so your parents were from Acapulco.
yeah. So I just to get to the point of that, it's like so it's a party city straight up. Back in the day, it was like a
Yeah.
tourist location, just discotheques everywhere. So
Oh dang.
my mom was literally going out clubbing with my dad with me in the belly. Like she's told me that like I
How
would
old
be
are
like
you now?
moving. I'm 26.
You're 26.
Yeah.
So
So like imagine my mom pregnant in the club, and like 80s pop is like blasting like Prince, Michael Jackson,
the
like all this
Cure.
stuff. And she would say that like the baby's getting upset because I would start moving around like crazy because it's super loud music. But I have a very strong feeling that that imprinted me,
She
like the
would
sound of the loud surrounding music around. I'm pretty sure that got into me
guarantee
somehow.
that's it, bro. Because parents will like put their big like, oh, let's play the classical music so he becomes this Ostrazo. This let's play, and maybe he'll become a mathematician. Dude, your mama was like, in
I
the
was getting
club.
jump. I was getting jump. I was getting Panama. I was getting like,
Panama. You were getting all the Van Halen, all the 80s stuff in the belly. So when
again,
you
like,
came out, your fingers were just like, where? You're like, what do I do with this? And then
yeah,
you grab the
yeah.
guitar at some point.
It's
That's
a
probably how
full
it
body
happened.
experience. I'm like, where's the music at, bro?
Dude, you're like out of the womb. You're like,
Yeah,
where's the what do I do? A drum, a guitar, how do I get that? That sounds in
yeah.
your head. That sounds like
Oh yeah.
ingrained in your head.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
That's why I've never really had any doubts about like what I'm doing with music. It's kind of like, well, what else am I gonna do?
Yeah, well, dude, that is the exact passion I'm talking about on the show. You
Yeah.
have this like razor sharp guidance. Like you're like, that is exactly what I'm doing. There's nothing else I'm going to do. And sometimes that's what people need out there is like, if you're going for some sort of goal and you want to do it, it's hard because people get doubts. I get doubts. Other people get doubts, but you have this like fire in you from birth, like you're
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
womb, that you're going towards music. That music is a part of you, literally a part of you. You probably, I don't even know how to scientifically explain that. It's in your blood. It's coming
Oh,
out of you. It's in your pores, and it was meant to be. And then were you in bands in like high school and stuff like that? I'm sure.
yeah, so I was like jamming with my friends and stuff. Nothing too good or crazy or anything. We would do like cover songs and stuff. I actually was self-taught for like the first 5 6 years of playing guitar during like high school and stuff. So I wasn't very good.
So you
But
got the, did you start actually picking up the guitar when you were in high school?
actually a little bit earlier. I was like in middle school, like the beginning of middle school.
Okay.
I got my first electric guitar,
That's about right where I
and
started playing. That's cool.
yeah, and I joined immediately the school jazz band because we had
Oh,
a jazz band, and
in middle school.
yeah, in middle school.
Ooh.
And it was cool because they would actually like go to like jazz festivals and compete and stuff. But I wasn't good enough yet to be on like the A team that would go do all the competitions and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
but
I
you
was
were
like,
hearing everything.
I was just around all of it. So I was just like, oh, okay, this is how you practice for music for a show. Like I was getting into the routine of all of it.
Oh,
Like now in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that was like incredibly valuable for someone so young. But like when I was doing it, I was just like, yeah, I got to play guitar for an hour a day at school. Like,
yeah,
I'm just trying to play music.
but that's crazy at an early age because you're getting all the stuff that I learned. Like when you're a musician, there's a certain like, there's like a certain like what you're like, I don't know, like certain ways that we do things. Like you got to show up on time, you got to be early,
Yeah, all your habits.
all the habits, the good habits to have as a musician. Like because there's a lot, there's people that don't have those habits, and it just destroys bands and makes it a mess. And it's like you got to have respect for the other musicians. It's not about you, it's about the group, those sort of things. Playing together a piece of music is a large work of music that is a piece, and pieces together form this one piece, and it's a beautiful thing. But if you start breaking off and doing your own thing, then it's not a band anymore. It's this freaking crazy solo thing. That you were learning those things at an early age.
Kind of, yeah. Not so much more like the band dynamics, like for instance, it wasn't really like the environment like my band is now. It's more of like this is like a structural organization because it's a school, it's different. When you're in a school band, it's a little different than your own band because there's like rules and shit you can't do, you know.
Yeah.
It's more like you're playing other people's music too. I think it's slightly different from making music with a band, but it still gives you that structure of, okay, we're going to show up at this time, we're going to rehearse at this time, and then next week we're going to show up at this time at this place, and we're going to play it. So you better be practicing in between then and the show because you need to get it together. So it's like, then it's like, oh yeah, I have a solo in one of the songs, so I really got to practice these scales.
Dang, yeah.
like you get the pressure of like, oh, people are gonna see me play this, so it's kind of like it starts getting that fire of like, you got to be good if people want to hear you. Like you don't want to look up in the middle of your solo and a bunch of people are nodding off or looking at their phone, it's like, it's not
or straight leaving out of the club.
Yeah,
it starts emptying out because you're playing. Like Jesus, like when I used to try to sing at the club, oh boy, I could empty out some rooms, I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah, it's a skill. It's a skill to clear out a room too.
There you go, man. That's crazy. But yeah, you're getting the structure. You're getting it right there. I mean, it's important. I mean, the other day I was at Santa Fe Springs Art Festival. I don't know if you saw my reel, but there was like the St. Paul Jazz Band was playing there, and after the show, the teacher was like, "Guys, get your freaking drums off the stage. The next band's coming," and like yelling like those sort of things. Like they're learning those little things. Like, hey, get your stuff together, get your gear on the stage, and get your gear off when you're done. Like those sort of structured things they're learning. That's awesome.
We got people to come in, people leaving. We got to keep it moving. We got a show to put on. Yeah. You learn those things early on, though.
That's crazy, man.
But back to the guitar I was making because I never finished that up.
Hey, dude, we're gonna keep going back to that like through the whole show about your guitar.
Oh, okay.
At the end, we'll finally get to when you put the strings on. I guarantee it.
I love that.
Go for it.
But yeah, so at MI, I was building my guitar and stuff. I finished that out, and then I went to the music engineering program right before I graduated. And so that's when I started learning how to like produce my own music and stuff, use Logic and all this, and actually kind of figure out how.
You're not producing the Forgotten Legion, are you? Like all the music?
Absolutely not. There's no way I could ever produce that. That's our engineer, Austin Hine. Shout out to Austin Hine. He's one of the greatest mixing engineers you will ever experience. Like any kind of music you throw at him, this guy is like, how I'm talking about my guitar playing? Yeah. That's how he talks about audio engineering. So the passion.
So Austin's going to come on my show next time.
He could talk to you for hours, bro.
Oh, dude. Austin, if you're out there, I need you on my show ASAP.
Let's get it.
Get it. Let's get it on the show.
Let's get some Fleas Studios in here.
Oh my God. So we'll get into that. Go back to, so you start taking the engineering class and what happens?
Yeah, so you get to like, there's a language that comes with, being a music producer that a lot of people don't really know. There's like a secret language in between these.
I don't
people.
know this language. What is this
exactly
language?
Yeah, it's just like all these technical terms and little quirky things that you would never know are engineering terms. Like, just having that repertoire in my vocabulary, I think that is like one of the most invaluable things.
So what you're saying is like Dr. Dre knows this language.
Yeah, like if Dre was like in the studio mixing something and he's talking about what he's doing, I at least can understand what he's saying now.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing what he's doing, but I know what he's doing. Like, that's I know what, and just that as a hurdle in the music industry, it's like, holy crap, it helps you out so much later in life. Like, just talking to engineers.
Well, yeah, you're not just a musician. You can say, this is how I want my sound. You know that thing you do with the XLR 4955? They do that with the mixer, but rewind it back, flip it on the backside, and then jump the boogie digo daga, and then boom, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, a couple of times when I went in the studio and try to play congas for these freaking stoners, all they want to hear is they want to hear the guitar, but I was like, what about the conga? What about that? And nobody wants to hear that. They just want to, forget about the conga. The conga's in the background. You're in the back. Go sit in the back. Go in the back. You're in the back. So you can talk to these guys. You know their language. That's incredible, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, you got it on. You know about the struggle in the studio.
Dude, I know when you spend 12 hours recording and then you go listen to the record and you don't hear, like, where the congas? Was there congas in there?
You're like waiting for your part to come in. You're like, is it?
And it never comes. It never comes. You got hot chicks around. You're trying to show your girlfriend the thing. And I was on I swear I was on this record. I don't hear it though. I don't hear it. I swear I was there. I was 12 hours. I was in the studio. They don't believe you. Nobody believes me.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. You know about the struggle.
Dude, I do.
Yeah, so it really helps to not just point at the screen and grunt, it's just like,
the green button, the button, the you see the lights, the lights, then they're like, get the hell out of my, they probably, there's a box right where you're recording, they just kick you out of the thing if you don't know where you're talking. Get out of the freaking, get him out the door, out of the door. And then you're back in the glass room where you sing or you play or whatever you do.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you get to get on both sides of the glass. That's a different thing. That's a whole nother level.
Yeah, it really helps though. It's just like, hey, what would really help make this song better? What if we try this? And then you can figure it out. And then the best part is though, whatever I come up with is not what the engineer is going to actually do. The engineer is going to come up with something entirely different that I didn't even know existed.
Better.
And it's going to sound 10 times better than I could have.
Because he knows what you're talking about. Because he's like,
oh, I know you want, but let me try this instead because this is what it's going to sound good.
But it's closer as hell than being like green light. You're closer at least. You speak the same language. And
the moment you feel understood as a musician in the studio is such a rewarding feeling. It's like,
it's different, right? Because when you play on stage, you're with just the 5 guys or the 4 guys or 3 guys, whatever, you're playing the song. People don't realize how different it is in the studio because you're playing along with a tracking time. Like time goes, everybody's on the same page when you're on stage. But when you're recording, a lot of times you're recording separate and you got to listen, you got to understand timing. And so it's totally different. Sometimes you have to tune differently because of the way the stuff picks up. So it's a totally different thing. People think, oh, I get to go in the studio like the Beatles and be the freaking. No, it's a jobby.
Meanwhile, the Beatles were practicing for like 10,000 hours before they hit the studio.
Yeah.
There's so much more to music than people would ever imagine.
Yeah, it's not like Keith Richards in the basement waiting for him to write a song for 10 hours. It's a whole different thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's crazy, man. Well, earlier
Yeah,
I
I
mentioned,
appreciate yeah, I appreciate you kind of like whittling down my music talk to the listeners, because I feel like sometimes I can get lost in my own head and like I think people know what I'm talking about.
yeah. I mean, that's my job. That's the interview guy's job. Like, I interview sculptors, and these guys are talking about apagasa. I'm like, so what he's talking about is clay, and the clay spins around on the wood, and you put your hands in it, and it makes something. That's what he's talking about. So I do that. That's my job. It's crazy.
Perfect.
I was interviewing this guy in LA, the Scrap Father. He makes bikes. I interviewed him last, and so to keep him, we're talking about an hour interview to keep him on track. Some of the guys, I mean, I interview artists, so I interview artists. Like,
we can ramble.
you can go not so you not just ramble, but some of these people are crazy, like literally crazy. So
1000% of them.
So to get an hour, I'm with them for 3 hours trying to get them to like stop smoking weed, stop running around the circles. And sometimes I have to go to them because they don't even have a car. So it's crazy. So I have this is easy, bro. You're doing fantastic. So let's try to let the listeners, with my technology here. I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's try to let the listeners hear some of this Forgotten Legion. You are an early member. You started this band together with your friends?
Correct. Yeah. So me and my guitarist Sergio, we started up the band with a former bandmate, Brad Marspini. At school, everyone's from the same music school. So
from the Arts Institute.
Yeah, Musicians Institute. Yeah. We're all from there. So what you're gonna hear is actually, if you play Burn, that's actually one of the first songs we ever wrote. It just took a while to get into this recording studio.
Okay, let's listen to it. Let's hear. I've been jamming all week. Got that. What are those, Hammer-On? Yeah. I mean, drums are freaking incredible. The guitar's incredible. Listen to this freaking vocalist when he comes in. Here we go. Is he coming? No, he's not coming. Oh, that's awesome. There he is. So you've got killer drums. You've got my man Solanis on guitar. You got a killer bass player going down. You've got the vocals. The guy sound that singing too like that. Is it a machine? My son was telling me that there's a way that they can sing like that too. Is it a machine or is it actually his voice?
That is 100% certified organic man. Nice. Right there.
Dude,
that's all man right there.
It's not easy to sing like that, right? There's a specific way that they breathe, so because if you don't know what you're doing, like I didn't know when I was a punk rock singer back in high school, you will lose your voice for like a month, and I did that many times. 100%. He can, dude. Okay, first of all, that singing type, it's okay. Everybody, I could do that. No. The way he does it, it sounds good. Okay. It sounds like music. And you can actually understand the dude's words. Like, yes, everybody can yell and try to be a metal rocker, dude, but he actually sounds clean. It sounds like music. It goes with the music. So he's a great vocalist. You got great drumming. You've got killer engineering. Let's listen to Brainwash real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a march to the freaking war or something like that. I don't know what this Brainwash is about. But it's
got a groove.
Got a groove. It's got the double bass. It's incredible. I'm going to stop the share real quick, but Jesus, dude, That's what I was like, okay, so first I'm listening to Solanis on Instagram, do his little guitar, blah blah. Oh, that's freaking dope. Then I go hit your bio, and then there's this freaking band, and then I'm like, damn, this is like clean thrash metal from like in my day. We were listening to Anthrax and Slayer and Megadeth was my favorite band, and
Me
all
too,
that,
bro. Me
you
too.
know.
I play a flying V because of Dave Mustaine, bro. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
oh
dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
Dave Mustaine
because
is one of my idols, man. Like, I grew up playing everything he ever did, man.
dude, it's like it brought me back to that. I was like, dude, I was back in the 90s again. I was like, holy crap. It was crazy, dude, because Dave Mustaine was freaking sick. He's a former, he started out in Metallica. They booted him out because he drank too much or whatever. And then he goes and starts his own band, and he's just pissed off and just, I'm going to create the best music you ever freaking heard. He starts jamming. And then the dude with him, the other guy, what's his name?
Marty Friedman.
Marty Friedman. Oh my
God. One of the greatest guitar players to ever live.
So you got those two like just going off, like just playing.
It's like peanut butter and chocolate, bro. It's just perfect.
There's just in harmony, like in harmony, just insane, this insane guitar. The same thing with Anthrax. You had, what was it, Scotty Ian, I think his name in.
Scotty Ian for sure.
I'm an old guy. I don't remember stuff, but
no, it's cool. I got you. I got all that trivia too.
Yeah, dude, all that stuff back in the day was sick. And then, I mean, and that style, I mean, that Kurt Hammett style, the finger picking, it was like a lot of stuff is like, if you go far with it, and you probably have because you love guitar, it gets into like classical music.
Yeah,
classical finger picking, classical, those type of things, taking it into a metal genre. Yeah, it's another level.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. There is nothing that we don't incorporate into our music that like comes from like some ancient place, you know. like most of the riffs and stuff, like they all have an original place, you know. Like there's nothing that we're doing that isn't directly from the influences that we've heard. You know, like,
yeah,
it's almost like, well, that's the thing with Forgotten Legion. It's almost like we're paying homage to this like forgotten art. You know, it's like we're trying to keep this essence in there in the music. Like it has to feel real. It has to feel like it's grooving. It has to feel organic. You know, like that's sick. What we're doing, man.
That's sick, because I remember years ago Ozzy Osbourne was doing an interview, and he goes, look, there's only A through G. There's 7, there's 8. That's it. Everybody's done it before. You just got to do it your way. But there's nothing new. Like everything's been done. But to old guys like me who were metal back in the 90s, like, dude, you hear it, you're like, Same thing if you look at Metallica's newest album. They had to go back to their real stuff because Bob What's-His-Face was messing everything up, making them all soft. So they had to go back to the real thrash metal, the Kill 'Em All album, the freaking Ride the Lightning album. They had to go back to that real true sound. And now people are starting to listen to them. Why? Because it's better. Because it's real freaking metal. It's the way it should have been. Thrash metal. Even Suicidal Tendencies was doing it. I mean, they were, even if they can get it right, holy crap. So it's like you can hear that. My son really likes Avenged Sevenfold. That band, the same thing. When I heard them, I was like, oh, fucking Guns N' Roses. That's Guns N' Roses. Like that's
for sure. Like the lead guitarist, Sinister Gates, is actually a teacher at my school, Musicians Institute.
What?
Yeah. That band has so much history with MI.
Oh my god!
Like there's a lot of crazy cats that you would probably know that have been through there. You know, it's just like the people that take the art form and then make it metal. You know, like you can do all the cool like music school stuff and make it dope metal. Like you can 100%. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
Dope. Dope is a good word for it, because it's like, dude, you can create a killer punk rock band and do the five and do the freaking 5 chords that you do, and do the same thing over and over again. But if you actually learn theory, if you actually sit and listen and learn music theory, it's game on. because
sure.
there's no limit. Now you've got this mind, and it's the same thing that Miles Davis talked about. Jazz is swinging. It swings. It swings. Yeah. You hear that? It swings. Yeah. But to jam in it, there was, I could just jam. Everybody said, man, when I played a mini band, let's just jam. Let's just jam. I used to hate that word because we could jam, but you better know what key we're in when we're freaking jamming.
Yeah, at least know when changes are happening, you know?
Because
are you going to follow along, or are you going to stay in the same groove the whole time?
Yeah. Because you can make a mamble jamble, and then it only sounds good when you're drunk.
I will say this though, most of the riffs that you feel like move you and they got that groove in it, like the songs you're just playing right now, yes, we can look back at them and kind of like figure out the theory of what we were doing, and we can like say like, oh, this is what we were doing, and now we can go here and this and all that. Like you can break it down analytically because of the theory, but sure. In reality, a lot of the riffs that we love come just naturally. We're not thinking about the theory when we're writing those riffs. It's only until after that we're like, okay, well, what are we doing so that we can kind of fit it better into the song? Yeah. It's more of like we use theory to refine it. Like we can use theory to build the whole thing, but it won't have the same kind of like impulsivity. It's got like an
natural feel.
Like, yeah. You know when something came out just randomly. It's just like,
it goes back to being born of music, bro. Okay. So like humans can when they hear something good, it's there's some science behind that, right? It sounds good because the vibration is correct, because it's in key. When you go out of key, you're like, what was that? It was a car crash. Or I was interviewing this guy, Ashby, my boy Ashby. He's a musician. He does a lot of stuff with YouTube. He does a lot of stuff for Channel 7 News and stuff like that. And he was talking about how like sirens, like ambulance sirens, and those are made to alert you, like alert. So same thing when you're off tune, you get like, eh. So yes, man, me and you can go forever. But if you're like, when we're musicians and we're and a sound comes out of our guitar, or a sound comes out of the conga, or a sound comes out of the bass, that this riff that we created, it's because it's naturally sounding good to us, and it's being created. It is an art that's coming out of you. It is being created. And when you're like, and you hit a half step too wrong, you got to go a little bit up. You got to go another couple, you got to go a whole step instead of half step. When it's not right. And when you get it right, that's the art. That's the stuff. And then after that, you structure, like you said, you structure it and you go, okay, we got to put you here. We got to put the bass here. We got to, do the different things. Let's put the piano if you have that. That's it.
That's the perfect way. And that's actually a good segue into like how we write. So like, that's something more that my guitarist Sergio is a lot better at than me, is like, he'll look at the riffs that we provide, and then he'll like, it's kind of like he sees like these puzzle pieces, and he's like, oh, if we take this one over here and we kind of like throw it in the middle of this one, then we kind of come back to this, it'll feel better and it'll sound better. And then I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then we try it, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
I've seen that. Like the dude, like when I was playing this band called G Tonic, and they had a marker board, and they're like, okay, this part number 2 goes here, and then okay, now let's move this over here and try that. And that's how they would do it. Like they didn't even have sheet music. They just was like moving parts around.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like when we were at school writing, we would just use the whiteboards in the classroom, just all the time. Just like the worst music notation you'll ever see in your life. Just random keywords that would make no sense to anyone outside of the group.
But we thought we were important. Like we would say, it's gonna detempo, it's gonna crescendo, and it's really going down. And you're like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My
And then
bass player
somehow
makes fun
when
of
we
me.
put it all together, it somehow works. And I'm like,
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome. That's crazy. So, and then what's the singer's name?
So the singer is Sir Dwight Tashibish. He's our local veteran. Yeah, he's insane. He's insane.
He writes all the words and everything.
Everything. He's a wordsmith, a melodic genius. I cannot praise this man enough. He's one of my best friends. He's a sage. He's like just a wealth of knowledge that like any kind of words that come out of this man's mouth, I'm like, I don't know where you're coming from, but it's just pure wisdom.
And he's got like long hair, right?
Oh yeah.
So the sage has to have long hair.
He looks like an Indian guru, like straight up.
Yeah, he's your yogi.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's awesome.
He will not admit to that, but yeah, he's the band yogi.
That's crazy. How long has the band been around?
So officially we started the band in 2014. But this lineup didn't come around until 2016, 2017. We kind of went through lineup changes, just kind of figuring out like what worked, what didn't.
Were you guys gigging a lot? Were you guys gigging a lot 2016 into 2019?
Oh yeah. That was peak for us. Like we were just getting every kind of show we wanted. Like we like wherever we could, we would just show up and play.
And then what happened around March of 2020? Just like everybody else,
the world decided, you know what, we're not gonna do this live music.
Damn. Did you guys end up doing like Zoom shows and stuff like that, or what?
God, no. Nothing. So yeah, long story short, without getting too personal with the details, our drummer had to leave the country. He went back to Venezuela. So ever since that, it's kind of just been like we're kind of working in the studio now. It's we transitioned from a live band to a studio band.
Even now?
So yeah, right now we're working on putting out a new song. We have it finished up and ready to go. We're just literally working on marketing.
Can we announce the new song's name on my show?
Oh snap! You know what? Yeah, let's do it.
Don't worry. What's going to be the new name? Here we go. Raise Flaves.
All right.
Official.
So this next one is, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably our best song that we've put together. It's called Kintsugi, and it is Kintsugi is the Japanese art of mending broken pottery with gold. So
we were just talking about pottery. We were on the same page all the time.
Oh, for sure.
Kintsugi.
Kint, Kintsugi. Kintsugi. It's a duet. We have a female vocalist, Hannah. Probably one of the most intense female vocalists I've ever worked with.
Damn, a female vocalist.
If you heard the screaming in Burn, just imagine that, but a woman screaming it lower.
What?
That's how powerful Hannah is. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it soon, and it's gonna be crazy. I have been playing it on repeat just because we already have it. So
damn.
So I'm just like marinating in it. But
so when are you guys gonna launch this?
We do not have a set date right now. I cannot give you that. But we'll figure that out.
I tried.
We'll figure that out shortly.
Kintsugi, the new solo piece from or what do we call it? Single, the new single.
It's a single, yeah. Forgotten Legion's new single.
Are you guys like signed to a label, or are you guys just doing your own thing?
We are fully independent at the moment.
Nice. Do you guys ever think about messing with Epidemic or anything like that?
Epidemic?
Epidemic sound, like like a lot of us freaking influencers or YouTuber guys will need background music, so we'll grab it from Epidemic Music, so they'll charge us whatever monthly fee.
It's like royalties and stuff, like licensing. So you guys get the money though. So because I just interviewed a band the other day from Sweden, and they freaking they're on Epidemic. So instead of going to Capitol or going to these other big guys, you sign a contract with Epidemic, and then they put your music on their thing. Not only the live tracks with your vocals, but they'll put also just the music itself.
And
Mhm.
so influencers will drag your music into their thing. And sometimes you get discovered like that. But not only that, all the money goes to you.
Whoa, that's cool.
So
I gotta
that
check
cuts
that
out the
out.
big guys. Yeah. So
I'm
just a little
just and like
idea for you.
just because I'm like hyper like aware of like music contracts. I'm gonna be checking that contract out for
And
sure.
it's not like a full contract. It's different. It's the modern stuff, bro.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
just probably it's probably just licensing.
just
Yeah,
go on the app and say you agree to this, bing, and then the money starts coming.
I
It's
love
none of
that.
the freaking, and what's cool is like that's the label you're on, and it's like almost like they don't even call it a label. It's like you're just in Epidemic,
Interesting.
and so you guys are obviously getting discovered like crazy on Instagram, and you're on Spotify as well. You're on iTunes, of course, right?
Yeah,
But
oh, everything.
imagine a guy like me like going through try to find music, and then I hear you, and of course I'm going to put you in my videos. There's going to be a bunch of crazy guys like me all over the world putting your music in their videos, and then you never know where that goes, right?
That sounds like a good deal to me, man.
It's a very organic way. I think you guys like that, right? The young guys like that
Oh,
organic
that's
stuff,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, farm fresh, bro. That's what we're doing out here.
Farm fresh, exactly. From LA, from Los Angeles, California, anything you want. So how do we? So with the dudes in Venezuela, so how do me and my son go watch your band now?
So that's the thing. We're trying to figure that all out. I can't really disclose too much of that. I'm only myself. I can't really disclose like the band information like that.
That's okay. We'll do a Zoom with him and then some of the guys from the CIA, and then
Oh,
we'll
oh
figure out
yeah.
what happened there.
I mean, I keep telling him to show up in Texas and rappel through the gates, but there's
Yeah, he could. There's a lot of ways, obviously, to get in this country. It's crazy. But yeah,
sure.
dude. So are you guys thinking like, well, so hopefully you guys will get back to playing. I don't know how you'll do it, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We got magic on our hands.
That's it. That's it.
We'll
Cool,
make it
man.
happen. We'll make it
Anything
happen.
else you want to promote on the show?
I want to finish that guitar story.
Yeah, I see. I told
This
you we
is
were gonna
like
finish
the
it.
biggest cliffhanger ever.
Yes, I told you we were gonna finish it. Go at it. Go for it.
I'm just sitting
Where
here.
are
I'm
we
like,
at? Are we
man,
on
how do I
chapter
get
3 or
back?
chapter 4? What part of this?
Uh, so Nam, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've been to Nam a couple times.
Okay, great.
I
Okay,
saw Stevie
perfect.
Wonder there once. Can you believe that?
Oh, I can. I've seen him with his little entourage.
Yeah, he
He's
goes and then he'll jam
like
on the piano.
got like 40 bodyguards looking at him.
Big bodyguards. Big
Like
bodyguards, dude.
the biggest dudes you'll ever see. I'm like, oh,
Dude.
I guess that's Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, you don't want to get too close. But it was the closest I've ever been. I remember going to the New Orleans Jazz Festival and seeing him there, but that was the closest I ever been to Stevie Wonder and just playing like this, his Stevie Wonder.
Legend.
So you went to the NAB show, or you probably go every year, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we try and get out there as much as we can, obviously, being in the industry and whatnot. But so 2020 or 2019, I think 2019, NAM, Winter NAM, me and my singer Dwight were walking in and we made it a point to like stop and kind of just acknowledge to ourselves, like, all right, we're here, we're at NAM, we're trying to get our bag, we're trying to get into this, we're trying to get our feet wet. This year, we're going to become sponsored musicians. That's what we said to ourselves.
2019.
The moment before we walked into there.
Dude.
And that year was the year at the end of all of it, we came out and we had all the sponsorships we could ask for, I'm working with Solar Custom Guitars now. I'm working with Boss Amplifications, like legendary Boss. Like,
So you guys just started talking to everybody?
Yeah, we just made it a mission to just like talk to everyone, just get our names out there, play in front of people.
Where does that come from, bro? Where do you think that comes from? Because that's like your it seems like a pattern with you. Like you
True
know
will.
What is it called?
It's true will. It's just your will. Like I know it now as that. I didn't know it before.
True will.
It's your true will. It's like what are you here to do? Like what do you want to do? Like, you can get caught up in the minutia of things, but what do you want and how do you want to get it? Like, it's just like
it's that simple. You just
You would
simplified
imagine, right?
life for everybody across the country. You guys better listen to this podcast and sponsor this podcast. By the way, for as little as $1 a month, you can actually sponsor this podcast and listen to this type of wisdom. You can only get this on Raised Flavors podcast. My God.
Let's get that. Let's get the bag for Raised Flavors. Let's go. Let's go. I want all the sponsorships for this podcast. Man.
My
Let's
God. And we've only begun to the so you're at the NAMM show, you get all, and you're talking about Boss, the guy that make the pedals and everything.
Yeah.
Dude, you're
Boss.
sponsored by that.
Yeah.
How did I get you on the show? Who did I pay? I got a good manager. It's my wife, by the way. But it was incredible. Wow.
So, sometimes I forget these things and I'm just chilling here and I'm playing guitar and then I look over and I'm like, dude, you have all this nice shit. Like,
they give you everything. Every like we would save up for 6 months. There's like, hey, you want the thrash metal pedal, you want the wing pedal, the reverb pedal, everything.
It's literally like they treat you like family there. Like you just like it's wonderful. I cannot say nicer things about Boss. Like,
Boss Music.
They took us to the headquarters. We were jamming with them. We're taking pictures and stuff. We signed the wall. Like,
so if Boss Music wants to support my channel for less than $1 a month, I mean, you guys are big. Maybe it's $2,000 a month. I don't know what you guys want to do, but bossmusic.com. What's the next sponsor? Who else sponsors?
We weren't getting like sponsors, but we were working with a bunch of companies to like kind of promote their stuff on Instagram for a second. Like, hell yeah, just like my guitar straps and stuff. Richter guitar straps, shout out to German made leather.
What's it called?
Richter guitar straps.
RichterGuitarStraps.com.
They make guitar straps for like Rammstein and like
no way,
and like all these massive dudes, Trivium. Like, and here I am with their straps just chilling.
Dang. How about Vic Firth? Did they sponsor the drummer with sticks or anything?
Not yet. We're working on that one. We're working on.
Oh man, crazy.
Yeah. But back to the guitar. So made it my point. I'm going in there. I'm getting a guitar sponsorship. I don't care how, but I'm getting it. We're walking around. We go downstairs. Me and my guitarist Sergio. We go downstairs and we see this like bright neon green booth, like the only one at NAMM that's like fully neon green. Like, bro, you can't miss it.
Here's some advice for the other booth guys: make your booths neon. People notice.
Secret hack. So I'm like, what's this shiny thing over here? And I see on the wall all these insane hand painted custom guitars. Like, dude, if you look on their website, it's just like
what's some of these website?
Sola Custom Guitars. If you just Google Sola Custom Guitars, I'm sure they'll come up.
No, I was looking at it before I was searching it.
Yeah, they're on Instagram too, but everything's just like hand built, handmade, and it's just like Tony, he's like this dude that just grew up around 80 shred and he just like lives it, man. He's crazy. Like, I love Tony. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and he just wants people to shred.
Tony wants to be on my show next week. Give me a call, Tony.
I'll give you all my homies, man.
Dude, it's just gonna become a music show. If you help me, I need your help though. It's gonna become a music show every week.
Oh, we can do it. We can do these all the time. I'm good with podcasts. Man.
Guitar players. We're gonna have you on the show because we're not even gonna finish. We might have to.
We're not. I'm sure
we're not. You have too much, bro. You have so many, but just keep going with the story.
I will. So
my job is to interrupt you, by the way. Keep going.
I got you. So we walk up and we're playing these guitars, and I literally look at my guitar, Sergio. I'm like, dude, these are the nicest guitars. Like legit. Like I was just blown away by how well
crafted.
Just like they played like butter, man.
Oh, they played well too.
They just played.
Because you can look, you could have like natural wood, beautiful rosewood.
Yeah. Oh,
play it.
You know NAMM, so you know it's just like a circus in there of like random ass
10,000 guitar makers, 20,000 drum makers, bass makers, the Shure microphone companies there. And maybe they have Yakimo making some other crazy microphone from Hong Kong or whatever, but there's a lot of different brands there. trying to push their gear
Yeah.
to specifically well, back in those days it was Guitar Center and shops that sold when we used to have stores before Instacart.
Yeah.
And then and also musicians, like pro musicians, go in there. I mean, when Stevie Wonder goes in there, he probably says, well, give me 4 of those pianos, you know, something like that. So that's the type of show it is. It's a dope show, dude. I don't even, I think, you know how I got in the show a couple times.
Yeah.
The dude, my friend Darren Cajon, Mr. Cajon, they call him. He made custom cajons, like custom Cuban cajons. So he would get me in the show. He'd get me a pass every time. So we'd meet all the freaking congueros and everything like that. They do all those handcrafted stuff. So same thing. If you like congas and bongos and handcrafted, all the gombops there, LPs there, of course, and all the different.
They'll get the drum circle outside going. They're like, oh, brand new conga, let's go. Let's.
Yep. Dude, it's there's a bunch of famous people there, but it feels kind of homely, like, because you're just around instruments, and it's like if you're a fisherman, like if you like fishing, it's like the camping fishing show. You're at the best place on earth for a musician. That's what this place is like. Just to give you guys an insight into what that show's like. And not everybody can go, right?
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. That's like, the beauty of it, though. I love that.
Yeah,
it makes you feel like slightly exclusive, but it's not really too hard to get in if you really wanted to.
Yeah, if you know some people, you can get in. You can get the badge, but you got to have the badge. You got to have the.
Yeah.
What do they call that? The
name badge,
the lasso, or what is it? The thing you are.
I don't know. Tag. It's like a name tag or something. I don't.
My wife knows the name. She'll probably kill me for not knowing that name. That little, you get that badge and you're in, and you get to go everywhere. You get to go to the side shows. Tascam's there. I remember the Tascam freaking booth was sick, and that was back in freaking 2001. So I'm sure it's probably virtual by now. I don't know.
half in the metaverse.
Yeah, half of it's in the metaverse. It's in Web 3.0, and you put your hand through it. Actually, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. So go ahead.
No, you're good. I got you. So
I can't believe you keep track with me, just interrupting you every single time. Go ahead.
No, dude, I have a podcast brain. It's all good.
This is perfect. It's awesome.
So I'm looking at my guitars, and he's playing these guitars, and we're just both like, dude, these guitars are sick. I just want one. Like, legit. I was like,
you're ready to buy one.
The thing I was coming back to, I was saying is like, yeah, there's like tens of thousands of guitar makers, but they're not all that great. Like, not all of them, it's like, it's very like, you got like the Gibsons and the Fenders, and then you got all these like
Taylor's
random, you got all these like massive drop-off companies that are starting
just called stick, and it's like a piece of like a 2x4, and then when you play it sounds like a 2x4. That sounds like ding.
Yeah.
It's like thunky. It sounds like this.
So when we're playing these guitars, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, these are like the best playing guitars here that I've played. And I'm like, okay, how do I, first of all, I want to just know these people, because these guys are sick. Like, just the fact that they're making all these like crazy custom guitars, I'm like, that's so rad. Like, you don't see that every day. Like, you don't see like perfectly airbrushed guitars. Like, that takes so much time to make.
It's not what you would do as a company. You would try to go as fast as you can. You would try to mass produce as much as you can, like a Fender Strat. You try to get as many necks out, as many bodies out as you can. This is people that are taking the time to do these custom works of art, and they're touching each guitar. Somebody's probably actually touching that guitar. It's not like 100 people working in a warehouse there. It's a craftsman.
Oh yeah, this is like a team of 2, team of 4. It's like it's homegrown, man. It just there's a mojo to the guitars. Like, that's awesome. I can't make that up. Like, you put your hands on one of these guitars, and you're like, wow, like somebody really cared to make this. So that right out the gate, that was my first impression with Sola. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get to know these people. So then we made it a point to just like keep coming back to the booth, just so we could play the guitars, get like videos for Instagram and stuff.
Oh, you're
And,
like a little
my-
kid. Like you're going, you're leaving, and you're let's go back.
Yeah,
So you leave, go get nachos, and you're let's go back. You'll get a Sprite, and you come. Somehow you always end up back at that booth. I know the feeling.
Oh yeah, we literally got to the point where Tony's wife Susan, she came up to him. She's like, "Oh, you guys just keep coming back, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we love your guitars." Like we kept telling them, like we love these guitars. You have no idea. Like it's like we found a gem. We found a gem in the brush. You know, it's just like, let's go. Like we started talking. We just started clicking. And right away, Tony was just like talking about like, oh, we can make your own custom guitar and all this. And I'm like,
when you heard that,
I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like that's just like, boom, like everything. My whole life just lit up. I was just like cloud nine immediately. I'm like, you're saying the magic words right now.
And that was it. You were drawing this guitar your whole life.
Yeah.
This is that moment that your destiny was happening right there in that moment.
It's crazy. 100%. There's no other way of describing it, but I dreamt it, I imagined it, and I worked for it as hard as possible, and then I made it happen. But I never put it into context that all of that would require other people. Like that, I needed the other people to make it happen. Like, and it's not something that you really think about when you're trying to make your dreams come true. It's like you don't realize how much effort other people have to do to make your dream a reality. You know what I'm talking about? It's like,
right.
Like, damn, exactly. Tony had to, dedicate years of his life to figure out the craft of building guitars, then fine tune it to the point where now he's making gems of guitars instead of just run of the mill guitars. Like nobody comes out making perfect guitars right away, but he had to refine that process until he made that guitar. Like all these different puzzle pieces that had to go on in the background for my thing to come true. It's like, you get a better perspective of the gratitude and, the mass amount of energy it takes to do these things.
That's crazy, dude. That is insane. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, it's all the different stuff. I mean, yeah, like I was telling you, I knew the guy that like would make cajones, and he would make, he would get the wood from wherever. I can't say where he got it, but special wood that they made that I made other instruments at. He had a connection, and then when somebody handcrafts something, it's entirely different than just getting it off the shelf at Guitar Center, right?
100%. So I will say this for all of the guitarists listening: if you want a guitar that plays like butter and your dreams, and you want to design the entire thing ground to finish, the whole thing, go to Sola Custom Guitars.
Sola Custom, they can do that for everybody. Is that their thing? They do that for everybody?
That's the thing. They have guitars ready to go. It's just like, here's a guitar if you want it. But the whole point is, let's make your dream guitar a reality. Let's do the thing you want. Like, you're the one that wants this guitar, so let's make that happen.
Oh, damn.
Like, and that's why I love them so much, because I was like, okay, you guys don't know, but I built my own guitar. So now that we can talk, I'm going to tell you exactly how to build this thing. I know exactly what I want.
Dude, yeah, you're a little bit of a different cousin. You're a little bit of a different customer.
He's like giving me the spec sheet, and I'm just like, yeah, all this. Just like, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, probably most of the customers just go, I wanted blue with a line here and 6 strings. Can you do that?
They're he's like, yeah, of course I can do that.
That's pretty basic. You're like,
I want to come up with something crazy that no one's ever seen,
Yeah, you're like, I've been drawing this since I was 10 years old. You got some work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So everybody who wants a guitar out there, go to solacustomguitars.com and create your own guitar. That's crazy, man. I mean, that's a shoot. If I was playing guitar back in the day, that's what I would do. Make my own guitar. Yeah.
I can't stress it enough how like magical that is to
But
like
I would
think
make a guitar, like for me, I would make a guitar that actually played for me. That way it just sounds good all the time.
just straight up plays
just
itself.
just plays it. I just
It's like
hold it.
one of those old pianos that
Yeah.
plays itself.
Yeah, they have that for piano. Why don't they have I bet they need to make that for guitar. So I could just make like rock faces and just and like that. And then like, how did you get your hand off the guitar? I'm like, oh, I'm just jamming. And it just plays itself.
It's just a backing track of Slash.
Yeah, it just plays Slash all. That would be perfect. Like Stola, what's his name? Tony, make me a guitar that just plays Slash's riffs all day long. It just because it plays, and it doesn't turn off either. Like it's in the corner and it's pissing my mom off. It's like just it's just playing Guns N' Roses tunes in the corner like the whole day. That's the guitar I want. I'm not asking for much. I'm a very simple guy.
Can make that happen.
That's awesome. SolaCustomsGuitars.com. Tony will be on my show hopefully soon. We'll have.
You'd love to, man. You'd love to have him on, man. He's such a great guy.
That's awesome, dude. So then you get the sponsorship, and
yeah. So the sponsorships come in, and then that's really right when we're trying to like ramp up the live shows and stuff. And then COVID.
and then
I was like, oh, like we were building up all this momentum and energy, and then it's just like, oh.
Yeah, everybody was. Bands were building up momentum. Companies were blowing out of the water. I mean, it was almost a time of like it was just the economy was going crazy. It was really building up. It was amazing economy at that time. Business was up. It was crazy. And then just the crash of 2020, of course, happens.
Yeah, but that's fine. We'll keep pushing. We'll keep moving, make music, and we just got to make it happen.
Yeah, no, it's great because it's a big shift. It's good because a lot of musicians moved into deeper into the social media, which was already happening, but you're moving there. A lot of musicians moving more into social media, getting more attention through social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. Now you can do your own show on Twitch and make. Yeah. You guys should do a freaking show on Twitch and do it.
That would be great.
do a thing on Twitch, and now it's like. Well, especially during those 2.5 years of COVID, you had to play on Zoom, or you had to play on Twitch, or you had to play on guys were jumping on Instagram, playing in the live stories. It's a good thing for the musicians to know a little bit more about technology.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of guys play guitar, they play bass, they play. What frustrated me a lot when I was in a lot of groups is that none of them knew a lot about marketing, like how to market themselves.
Dude, musicians, we don't know anything about marketing.
It would drive me nuts.
You could be the greatest bedroom guitarist, bedroom musician, be sitting on thousands of amazing songs, but if you don't know how to market it, it's just not going to get to the right people.
No one's going to hear it, and it's so easy today. You just go on Instagram and do a little riff like you did.
I try.
But I think, well, here's what you have to do. And I think this is an important part. You have to wear a wizard hat like you did.
Yeah. Oh, that helped.
It's
the wizard hat like 10x'd my views. It pissed me off so much, but I knew it would work. Like, that's the thing. I was like, you know what people really love? Random, pointless things. I know. I'll just start playing guitar with my wizard hat.
Dude, that's what got you. That's what made you. You got to do that. It's awesome.
Like, because I'm watching all these people on guitar playing on Instagram. I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. It's not really original. Yeah, it's all right. I'm like critiquing all this, and then I'm like, dude, you're not putting anything out there. I like had to flip it onto myself and be like, if you're gonna critique all these people, just put whatever you're gonna put out there. So I'm like, all right, what do I gotta do to get attention around here? I'm like, all right, wizard hat.
That's the game, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the game that
I can't really post like thirst. I can't really post thirst traps. It's not my forte.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. We're not developed in that way. Yeah, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. But like they needed to know that. They needed to learn that. Like what draws followers, what gets it to, because at the end of the day, it's a show, right?
Yeah.
When you were playing on stage, you were drawing a crowd, you were drawing attention. The bottom line is attention. You're drawing the attention, you're drawing the crowd. You have great music, you have great stories, you have a great sound. But now if you don't put that somewhere for people to display it. And I like the fact that they were trapped for 2.5 years. They couldn't display it outside. They couldn't display it in the festival. They couldn't display it in the Anaheim Convention Center. They couldn't do it at the Stein Bar and Grill down the house. They had to go, and they were trapped inside of social media. They were trapped for 2.5 years. They were trapped inside what we're doing right now.
Oh, 100%. It's like I got used to it. I got used to being on Zoom and talking to people. I love this now. Like now I'm just like, dude, I get to hop on Zoom and just like talk whatever.
I don't got to drive to you. You don't got to drive to me. It's amazing.
This is perfectly fine.
That's awesome. So
but no, there's no substitute for going to live shows though. That's the thing.
Oh,
and the cool thing is like live shows are coming back. That is definitely true. I've been to so many metal shows lately, man. It's wild.
Yeah?
Like, I love it. Yeah, I'm right back in the crowd now. Like now,
dude, it was right before COVID. It was like Danzig was playing with Misfits again. It was like
all these giant reunions were happening. Like
Circle Jerks are playing. I don't know if you know Circle Jerks.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They're playing a lot right now in Canada and throughout the United States. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like Rage Against the Machine was supposed to come back. I'm like, what's going on here? Like all this revival energy was happening, and then everyone's like, no live music.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool. We're getting in now.
It's starting to come back. It's big time starting to come back. It's crazy. Like I went to that art festival the other day. There's jazz bands playing, kids bands playing, and a bunch of stuff's coming back. I think my wife was talking about like No Doubt's playing at the Hollywood Bowl or something like that pretty soon.
There's some cool shows coming back around.
It's going to be awesome. Now we just got to get you. We'll have to virtually put your drummer on stage somehow.
We'll get a hologram of him.
Yeah, hologram. Exactly, a Tupac hologram.
On Tupac stage. Is our new drummer, actually.
Tupac will be the drummer, but he'll play the riff that your drummer played.
That Tupac will be our drummer for Forgotten.
There we go. You heard it here live on Race Flav's network that Tupac is the new drummer for Foreign Legion. Forgotten Legion for its Foreign Legion. That's like a Foreign Legion. That's a veterans thing. Hey, happy Memorial Day this coming Monday, by the way, to our veterans.
Shout out to all the veterans.
Yeah, so I'm glad I brought that up.
We're a veteran-led band, so we gotta get some love up there for him.
Is when you said that, did he actually serve?
Yeah, Dwight served in the army. Yeah. He
no way.
He did, I believe, 2 tours Afghanistan.
Oh wow! Think of her
one or two.
When you talk to him,
I don't want to disclose the wrong information.
Is he in World War I? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he was in the trenches. Actually, yes.
Trenches. Yeah, he had the sword on his gun. He was stabbing people with the sword in his gun. That's awesome. Thank you for your service there in World War I, my man. You sing and you are a warrior, my friend. Jeez. Wow.
Oh, that he is a warrior. I'll give him that.
That's crazy. Wow. Holy moly.
Shout out to all the vets, though.
Shout out to the vets this weekend, man. It's not just about barbecue. It's about the people who died and sacrificed themselves for this country and paid the ultimate price. So big shout out to them. Continue your story. What are we making now?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Guitar. So, no, that was pretty much it. When we got the guitar going, it was just like,
because he finished it for you. He made
it so fast too. He made it in like 3-4 months or something like crazy like that. I'm like, I was just like, dude, he literally poured all his heart and soul into it. And then the paint finish is out of this world. The paint finish, the thing about Sola Custom Guitars is they have on hand one of the best airbrushing artists I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, dang. They have an
artist. Garrett Dagny is the artist.
Say his name again? Garrett
Dagny, Gerd. Dagny is Dagne. He's kind of he's not really too big on like social media or anything. So
we're gonna bring him in. We're gonna rope him in. We're gonna have him on the show. Derek
Garvey, my god, have
a show,
dude!
Art.
I have sat with Garrett and just talked for hours. It felt like about just the most beautiful things about art. Like he is a historian when it comes to like ancient Aztec Mayan artifacts and like artwork. Like this
Ooh,
guy has an infinite wealth of like historical knowledge about art. And I'm just sitting there
I need
just
this guy
like,
like yesterday.
oh my
I've had
God.
painters on the show. I've had painters. I've had sculptors. I've had.
He does he does custom pinstriping on cars too. Like
Ooh,
he'll do like
actually,
lowriders, like he'll do like all
I
sorts
have
of
a
cool
'69
stuff.
Impala. Will you do some work on my Impala?
I'm sure he would, dude. He's got some crazy stuff. He's an alchemist when it comes to paint, man.
Where's he? Is he in LA?
I believe he's in New Jersey.
Oh, New
I
Jersey.
yeah, I think
Holy
he's
crap. We're
still
gonna have to me and you have to take a drive out to New Jersey in the Impala. It's gonna take us like in the Impala, it's probably gonna take us like 3 weeks to get there.
Oh, for sure.
It's gonna take but we can stop for some barbecue and stuff like that and do some gigs.
Oh, for sure. That'd be a
I'll be like
tour
your manager. I'll
podcast
talk, I'll announce you when you come on show on the stage.
host, big host. All
I'll
right.
be the host.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. Anything else you want to
Yeah.
promote? Talk about?
No, just shout out to the band Forgotten Legion. We're all over social media. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for
Oh
having me.
man.
Thank you for holding this podcast space open for us and just letting us talk about, art and passion. That's my passion too. I had a podcast for a big moment there.
Cool.
And it was kind of similar to this, where it was just like, let me get all my friends and then we'll just talk about stuff we love.
Yeah, dude. But now
I mean,
I'm beholden to you. I need more musicians. I need all the artists. This is going to be the one-stop shop for artists. I have a website too, raceflaves.com. We can do stories. I can write articles on these guys, take pictures, everything.
Yeah.
So
Let's
I'm putting it
go.
out there live. So if you guys want to be in on this show, it's unlimited access.
Slaves coming at you with Forgotten Legion. We're gonna start bringing all the homies on.
Yes,
all the
sir.
homies gonna get some airtime. Let's go.
Let's go. We'll bring it on. Awesome, my brother. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me, man. I love your guys' music. I love you. I love what you're doing. I love your art. I love the whole story from 10 years old, writing, drawing your own guitar to finally making it. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot to listen to in this podcast. Listen to it, rewind it back. This is awesome. Solanis, thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's flegion.net. FLEGION.net. If you want to catch us anywhere, we're on social media. Everything you need is flegion.net. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for having me, man. I love it.
Absolutely, brother.
Can't wait to do more of these.
Dude, come back on. Are you saying you'll come back?
Oh, I'm here whenever you want me, bro.
Awesome. We are going to have Solanis back. That is awesome, my man. Thank you so much. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget you can sponsor this show for as little as $1 a month on the support button right there in the description. Click on that. As little as $1 a month, you can support this show. Man, I would love to eat a burger today. Hit it up. Late.